It is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have as part of the visit to the various port and road economy infrastructure, the Ethiopian minister goes to Dekel. Discussion is on the financing of peace operations in Africa. Welcome to our newsroom. On Thursday, October 5, 2023, the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, His Excellency Hassan Muhammad Ibrahim, visited the Dakhil region in the company of the Ethiopian Minister of Transport and Logistics, His Excellency Bar'u Hassan Bar'u, to see for himself the progress of the construction work on National Road 1, precisely the Dagiru-Gallamu axis. The visit was attended by the Prefect of the Dakhil region, Hassan Abdiroble, the General Director of the ADIR, Subban Saeed Ismail, the General Director of DPCR, Abdi Ibrahim, as well as representatives of the contracting company, Al Ayuni, the subcontracting company, CCECC, and the consulting firm, Saudi Tech. The delegation led by the Minister visited the works and structure in the locality of Alambaltu, Gallamo, Garabes, and Gurabus. After crisscrossing the length of the corridor, a presentation was made to the delegation at the company's base in Yoboki. The General Director of the Djiboutian Road Agency said that the project delegated contracting authority informed the delegation that the first section would be handed over before the end of the year. For his part, the minister reiterated the importance of the government attaches to this project of regional scope, which will contribute to improving trade between our two countries. The Ethiopian minister began by recalling that he was in Yoboki and that he had come with his delegation is on a working visit to strengthen friendly and fraternal relations between Djibouti and Ethiopia. The Deputy Minister Bar'u Hassan said he is delighted with this working visit to Djibouti, and my country Ethiopia will receive relief in this regard thanks to your hard work and expertise in the Damerjok Free Zone port. He also had the opportunity to visit the Djibouti-Galafi corridor. The road rehabilitation project is a much coveted route for Ethiopian trucks. Yesterday he visited the various Djibouti ports where Ethiopian goods are imported and exported. The aim of the visit, he said, was to focus on key aspects of trade and connectivity, cross-border passengers transport, and the agreement on road transport services between Djibouti and Ethiopia. For his part, the Minister of Equipment and Transport, Hassan Muhammad Ibrahim, began by welcoming the Ethiopian delegations led by Minister Hassan Bar'u to Djibouti. He pointed out that yesterday they had discussed the 2 points and today they were in Dakhil, more precisely in Yoboki, to see for themselves the state of progress of the road rehabilitation project. Minister Bar'u Hassan insisted on seeing the road rehabilitation project and its progress. He affirmed that there are several projects concerning the corridors, namely the road financed by the World Bank, the one from T1 to Tajora, and he concluded that 2024 would be like to have a sound road in good condition. The Minister of Muslim Affairs awarded the certificate of merit to members of the Hajj organizing committee, including RTD Special Envoys covering this year's 2023 pilgrimage activity with the aim of taking stock of this year's Hajj. The Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf Momin Hassan Barre has just brought together the members of the committee in charge of organizing the 2023 pilgrimage. The meeting took place in the conference room of the Waqf Property Directorate of the Ministry of Muslim Affairs and Waqf. The meeting was attended by Ilmi Noor Jama, Director General of Waqf, and several other executives and ulema who are members of the organizations. Just before their departure, the minister had given recommendations to the members of these commissions with a view to meeting security requirements of offering quality services to our citizens during their stay in the holy places of Islam. At the end of the ceremony, all the members of the commissions in charge of organizing the Hajj were awarded certificate of merit, testifying to their commitment to the smooth running of the 2023 pilgrimage. In his speech on site, Minister Momin Hassan Barre praised the efforts made by the organizers to enable Djiboutian pilgrims to perform their 50 pillars of the Islam in good conditions managing. The work of the annual conference of countries using the banking supervision application is information systems commonly known as BSA, which took place over 5 days at the Sheraton Hotel, was brought to a close yesterday morning. The BSA is part of a drive to strengthen the supervision of financial institutions and to equip the banking supervision department with the technical means to carry out effective supervisions commensurate with the expansion of the banking sector. An African initiative launched in 1997 by the SEDC Central Bank Information Technology Forum. The BSA was funded by the SEDC Central Banks. Experts from various central banks from 20 countries using the BSA system is delegated, as well as a senior executive from the Central Bank of Djibouti and from various, the head of the BSA, Mr. Omar Ibrahim Omar, said that pay tribute to all the experts, the authorities, and the people of Djibouti for having made every effort to ensure that this annual conference on the information systems was held in the best possible conditions. On the evening of October 5, 2023, the Central Bank of Djibouti hosted a gala dinner on the occasions of the annual conference of countries using the banking supervision application information system, commonly known as BSA, which took place over 5 days at the Sheraton Hotel to ensure effective supervision in line with the expansions of the banking sector. After welcoming the participant, the governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti, Ahmed Ousmane, expressed his deep gratitude to the experts from various central banks from 20 countries using the BSA system. It's 60 delegates, as well as senior executive from the Central Bank of Djibouti and from various Djibouti's commercial banks. Then the national anthem was sung by our famous artist Yesod Abdo, followed by a unique performance by various folk dance group for the guests who were obviously particularly enthusiastic about this cultural spectacle. During the speech by the central governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti, Mr. Ahmed Ousmane, who, with a mixture of joy at the achievement of an air of confidence, recalled the characteristics and advantages of these systems, which was developed by African experts and underlined the pride of the Central Bank of Djibouti in being one of the member countries that decided to pool their knowledge in the field of banking supervision. He concluded by wishing his guests from 20 countries made up of 60 delegates a safe returns home. The Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Programs, held the closing ceremony of a 4-day training workshop for national experts on greenhouse gas inventory using the IPCC 2006 tool at the Djibouti Palace Campus Key. The workshop was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment, Dina Abdallah Omar, senior officials from the Ministry of Environment, the UNDP representative, and UNDP officials. The UNDP representative expressed her delight at the success of the workshop, which she described as being of the utmost importance. Its aim was to equip key national players with skills and knowledge of greenhouse gas emissions inventory methodology using the software developed by the Intergovernmental Panels on Climate Change. The Secretary General of the Department of Environment, Dina Abdallah Omar, said that this capacity building workshop in greenhouse gas inventory will enable Djibouti to effectively measure and monitor greenhouse gas emissions and subsequently design mitigation strategy adapted to the local context. October 6, 2023, the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, paid an important visit to the Ali Sabih region in order to examine the current security situations in the region. The visit was part of the General's ongoing effort to ensure security and stability throughout the nation, accompanied by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Brigadier General Tahiro Ali Mohammed, and the senior military officials. The Chief of the Armed Forces General Staff was welcomed by the Chief of the Staff of Ali Sabih Inter-Arms Battalions, Colonel Roble Mohammed Abdallah. Immediately afterwards, the Chief of the Armed Forces General of Staff met the head of the region's defense and security forces. Discussions focused on various aspects of security, including the challenges of preserving peace and stability in the Ali Sabih regions. During his visit, the Chief of the General Staff was briefed in details on recent development, the general situations, and efforts to counter any security threat. He also stressed the importance of coordination and collaboration between the various security agencies and local communities in maintaining peace and security in the region. Following its tour of the interior region, the delegation from the Ministry of Labor, Formalization and Social Protections, led by the Executive Secretary in charge of administrative reforms, visited the Artas region on Tuesday, October 3. The President of the Regional Council, Ilmi Bouhkoutade, and the Sub-Prefect of the Artas region extended a warm welcome at the premises of the Arta Regional Council. The workshop then got underway with a series of official speeches beginning with a welcome by the Council President, followed by the Secretary General of the Decentralizations and the Executive Secretary in charge of administrative reforms, who outlined the objectives of this key event. Finally, the Deputy Prefect declared the workshop open. The aim of the workshop was to raise awareness of the achievements and prospects of the reform, but also to discuss a new reform strategy. The workshop brought together the key players from the regions, including agents from the Regional Council, the Prefecture, Decentralized Services, and civil society. The overall objectives of this meeting was to engage the region is in the activities of the reforms of the administration. Under the leadership of the CTID, this year's mark the fifth participation of the Djibouti team comprising 2 girls and 3 boys. In this prestigious global event focusing on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the Team Djibouti robotic delegation accompanied and led by the city general manager Samatar Abdi Osman is a team made up of 5 young boys and girls aged 13 to 18 years, accompanied and trained at CTID since July 2023 to go and challenge delegations from nearly 190 countries around the world. The Djibouti team has been an active force through the programs, and during their participation in this global competition, the Djibouti robotic team will be presenting an innovative technology for the production of hydrogen by the PEM electrolysis. In addition, they will share their bold visions of the Green Sun Djibouti project aimed at electrifying Djibouti using solar energy financed by the popular shareholding. For his part, the CTID General Manager Samatar Abdi Osman said that these initiatives demonstrate Team Djibouti Robotics' commitment to finding solutions to the crucial problems facing Djiboutian society, particularly those linked to energy, the environment, and global warming. The Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany, in collaboration with the National Agency for Promotion of Culture, organized the first Germano-Djiboutian Friendship Concert at the National Theatre of Salin on Wednesday, October 4, 2023 at 8 p.m., marking the first meeting point of 2 different musical cultures. The musical evening was attended by the Director General of the National Agency for the Promotion of Culture, Mr. Mohamed Hussein Douale, the German Ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Henke Fuller, and her Deputy Head of Missions, Ms. Catherine Ebelin. The ambassador of the European Union, the Japanese ambassador, Chinese officials from the military base, and numerous diplomats based in Djibouti. The event also benefited from the participation of the UN agencies. The melting pot spectators had the opportunity to discover the richness of German and Djiboutian music.
بقيت جيران هيدوري عيني كني 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 قدر قوليلي على شربتي قالوا لي خرجتي في الظلام وعليا سولتي في غياب القمر وعليك ضويتي يومكو كحلو فرام كورينا
In his speech, the General Director of the Agency of the National for the Promotion of Culture, Mr. Mohamed Hussein Douale, said warmly welcomed all the guests present. He expressed his enthusiasm for the event, underlining its importance in strengthening cultural ties between Germany and Djibouti. For him, this event illustrates open-mindedness of an intercultural dialogue, essential values for the promotion of diversity. For the international scene, United Nations and African Union discussed financing of peace operations in Africa. Since Thursday in Addis Ababa, the peace and security bodies of the United Nations and the African Union have been discussing the financing of peacekeeping operations carried out under the aegis of the Pan-African organizations on the continent. The member countries of the United Nations Security Council and the African Union Peace and Security Council are holding their annual meeting on Thursdays and Friday in the Ethiopian capital, headquarters of the African Union. Opening of the proceedings, AU Peace Security Commissioner Bankole Adeoye called on participants to specifically address the central issues of predictable, adequate, flexible, and sustainable fundings for this continental organization's peacekeeping operations in Africa. This issue has been on the UNSC table for the over a decade, African countries are asking for them to be financed by compulsory contributions from the United Nations member countries. An African diplomat reminded the AFP before the meeting. And to close up this edition, football Moroccan proud to host the 2013 World Cup. Morocco is said to become the second African country to host a football World Cup since South Africa in 2010. For the first time in the tournament history, the European, African, and South American confederations have agreed on a single bid presented by Morocco, Spain, and Portugal, but with the 3 matches to be held in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay in the kingdoms. The locals make no secret of their pride in hosting the tournament. As Moroccans, I am very happy and proud to be hosting the 2030 World Cup with the help of Portugal and Spain. It's going to be a great event, and I hope we will feel the same joys as we did at the 2022 World Cup, explains one Moroccan woman. As a Moroccan, I am very happy and proud to be hosting the World Cup with the help of Spain and Portugal. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.